All right, we're rolling here. Okay. All right, Melissa. So we just went over today. We're getting some blood work done, right? And today, what I want to do is recap. You found out your thyroid. You had a thyroid issue because what?
We've been trying to have a baby for about 5 years. I decided to switch doctors because my doctor just kept saying, "Oh, lose weight, lose weight."
Right.
According to her, all my blood work came back fine. As soon as I switched, the first thing he did was do
Check
the
your
T3, T4,
Yeah.
and the numbers were very high.
Right. A lot of people find out when they're trying to have baby's thyroid.
Yeah.
So tell me what you did a lot of stuff to try and get pregnant, correct?
Yeah. We started doing. Well, first he wanted to try to get my levels to a certain my thyroid levels to a certain point. Or a certain number. He explained to me that your thyroid influences the IQ of your child or brain development, something like that. So of course it's like, oh great, we can avoid problems because I have family members that autism, stuff like that. So I want to avoid all that. So it took a while. Let's see, I started in October.
And what specifically were you taking?
The levothyroxine, which is Synthroid. We started at 25, 50, now I'm at 75 milligrams.
But weren't you on fertility drugs as well?
Right. During after we got to whatever level, then we started doing, we were doing a cycle monitoring. So when I finally got my period, we would monitor that. And then at a certain point, I would take the Clomid. I started with Clomid. And then that wasn't reacting enough or whatever. So then it was Clomid and tamoxifen. And then we started increasing the amounts on that. So I was taking 3 or 4 pills each a day. And then we moved up to Clomid, tamoxifen. Then he started giving me glucophage. Okay. Which to me, nothing happened with that.
I understand his rationale of why he's doing it, but
he said the insulin resistance.
What he was trying to chase down. Do you know what he was trying to chase down?
Not exactly, because it was the thyroid, and then he was like, "Oh, do I have you on glucophage?" I said, "No." He's like, "Oh, I don't. You have the insulin resistance," and that's all I really got from it. And then you hear other people who have gone through the same fertility say, "Oh yeah, I did that. I got pregnant right away. This happened right away." And when it's not working, month after month after month, and then now we're doing shots. It was the tamoxifen, Clomid. Then Orvidrel and the glucose. It was
a lot of stuff.
A lot.
Now, how long did you try and how long have you been trying to get pregnant?
With this doctor or altogether?
Well, just altogether.
We're married. We'll be married 7 years, so 6 years.
Wow. Yeah. And obviously nothing.
Nothing. Not even a maybe.
And when you came in first time, we checked you for. Now, you've heard this word. We talked about this before. PCOS?
Yes.
Okay.
I was diagnosed with that as well. Yes.
When were you diagnosed with that?
When I was diagnosed with a thyroid.
Okay.
And he did the ultrasound and stuff.
So they will. Yeah. There's 3 ways to diagnose PCOS, which would be cis-sun imaging, which they did with the little thing.
Which I had. Yeah.
8 or less periods a year.
Which I had.
Which you were like almost non-existent,
exactly.
Right? You said.
Yeah.
And the third one, which is one of the ones that, and this is where he was trying to go with this whole thing, was high testosterone on labs.
Right.
Now, did he ever check you for testosterone on labs?
I'm going to say yes. Okay. Because I know he did a lot of hormone level testing.
And that's where he was going with the whole trying to regulate your blood sugar, he was trying to bring your testosterone down.
Okay.
Now, unfortunately, he was just treating the symptoms of your high testosterone versus the actual, the reason why your testosterone was up. Now, obviously, we haven't gotten there yet. So have you been trying to get pregnant recently?
No. When I started this program, I said, you know what, let's put it on hold. If anything, I want my body to be healthy, so I'm not dealing with high risk or don't do that, don't do this, and now I'm going to be stressed throughout a pregnancy. So we're kind of like right now. It's let's focus on this. We're not making extra effort. We're just kind of going with the flow right now. Yeah,
because what we're going to do is we're waiting for your blood work to come back. And then, again, we'll wait and see. But based on what we see, I may say, hey, listen, you want to give it a shot, knock yourself out. But, yeah, I mean, I'm hopeful that this is going to... This was an area that was completely overlooked I know what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
They're trying to come around it. But again, they weren't addressing the reason why you couldn't get pregnant.
Right.
They were just treating the symptoms with all these drugs, but they're leaving the fundamental underlying. I mean, your body's smart.
Right. You're right. That's what I said. I said, obviously my body's telling me something's not working.
Right.
Why am I going to push it with pills and injections and all, and all of that if my body's resisting it?
Right.
So why? It's almost to me a selfish reason to put myself through that when it's a matter of let's figure out what's wrong with me and fix what's wrong with me so nothing complicates later on.
And unfortunately, most women, it's the number one cause of infertility in women in America, PCOS. And unfortunately, 99% of the time, you're pushed into in vitro,
right,
or some other type.
Which is expensive. I mean, it gets very expensive.
Right.
I mean, when I did my taxes and I added up between co-pays and and I have a great prescription and co-pay plan.
Still,
I don't know how people do it. It's
yeah. But the bottom line is what I'm trying to say here is that they never address the fundamental reasons why. Right. It's completely overlooked, and you're just, then what they'll do ultimately is take charge of you. So I'm hopeful we're going to monitor you as we go along here, and we'll see if anything changes.
Yep.
All right, thanks, Elizabeth.
Thank you.